What's good? Welcome to First String Podcast presented by Bet Rivers. On today's episode of First String Podcast, we're going to get into a little Major League Baseball betting at the 15-minute mark. We're also going to break down the Commanders' wide receiver position. There's a lot more to this position than old number 17. Pop it. So we're going to be joined by Stoner from Ref the District. So let's get to it. All right. First String Podcast presented by Bet Rivers. Make sure you download that Bet Rivers app or go to www.betrivers.com. You must be 21 years or older to play. Do not forget to like and subscribe to the First String Podcast. Matter of fact, tell a friend to tell a friend, and all of y'all subscribe. How about that? Let's bring in the squad so we can get right to this. Hey, Sid, what's good, man? How you doing? Sid, you got this button on your thing that says unmute.
The system muted me when you did you backed us out now. Come on now.
Oh, no, Sid, no.
Try to keep me on mute. It's okay. I see how it is.
Hey, hold on. I need another party. Ant, did that happen to you too?
Trying to keep the brother on mute.
No, hey, Sid, you've been on mute for the last 5 minutes. Hey, hold on, fellas. Shout out to a real one. I turned 35 tomorrow. And Paulie, thank you for shouting me and my youngest Riley, my 2-year-old, 3-year-old Ava out. But if you try to come and give us any Commander gear, it's getting burned like LeBron when he switched over, baby.
Oh Lord, Paulie, what you got to say, man?
Hell to the W, man. Hey, bro, I get you a dance uniform too. You know we a unisex dance team.
Hey,
y'all have a father and daughter combo.
The disrespect is so immense.
Hey, now shout out to you. You said tomorrow your birthday? Happy born day, man. Cancerbration, baby. It's cancer season.
Yes, sir. We're going to definitely toss a couple back. Hey, we're going to bring in my main man, Stoner, from Ref the District. What's good, Stoner?
Hey, hold on, Stoner. Hey, you hear that toothpick? I shouted out the dude on his birthday. Happy birthday, boy. You know what I mean?
His birthday was tomorrow.
Paulie.
It's tomorrow. Yeah, it's tomorrow.
We ain't got no show tomorrow, bro. Happy birthday, man.
He got to text me tomorrow. I said he got to text me tomorrow.
Paulie's birthday is July 4th. They shoot off fireworks every day. And this dude right here forgot Paulie's birthday on July 4th, man. I'm so, it's
he gonna text me happy 4th of July.
Hey, but I sent you strippers. I sent you
What?
Strippers. Oh, man. Hey, Stoner, how's it going, man?
Good. I don't even know where to jump in with all that.
You good, Stoner? My God, what up, Stoner?
Yeah, man.
Oh, man. Yeah, so listen. The Commanders put out a list. We are going on our 90th year in the league, going all the way back to Boston. And there was a big omission, and then they added my guy, Trent Williams. So we're selecting 10 people to be added onto our list of our 80 greatest Redskins football team Commanders, and Trent Williams was omitted, and the team actually heard the fans' outrage. This is not the first mistake that the team has made. It's not the second mistake that the team has made. It's starting to add up a lot, right? Like, how do we feel about this? I'm gonna ask you, Stoner. I'm gonna start off with you, bro.
I think it's a little bit overblown because we're not kind of on the inside of all these other teams and the silly mistakes that they make on their website or sort of celebrations that they have. I don't know. I thought it was a little bit overblown. It was a definite omission, but to kind of build it on top of the other stuff, let's talk about their sexual assault allegations and their stadium issues and their owners and GMs and all that other stuff. That's a big deal. Leaving guys off or misspelling, I don't think it's that big of a deal. And they fixed it. They heard it and they fixed it. So let's move on.
Yeah. Yeah, Paulie.
Hey, Stoner, you just said something, man, that had me thinking. Like you know, Dan and the boys, Dan and them is devious, man. Maybe they doing that on purpose because you know, he just said, he's gonna appear before the committee, so maybe they doing these mistakes on purpose, that way to throw them off the trail of talking about him going and doing this interview with the committee, but. Or maybe he ain't that damn smart to do it anyways. But either or, you're right, though. This is not what we should be talking about when it comes to organizational mistakes. We should be talking about this sexual harassment thing that hasn't been settled. You know what I mean? So, I'm 100 with you because it's not really a big deal to me, man. I could care less. It's just we got people in outrage because it just seems like one dumbass mistake after another.
Yeah, they're just dumbass mistakes.
That's where I'm at with it too. It's like, hey, literally, you can't pull out a dictionary and be like, hey, that's all good. Spell check. They got this thing called Grammarly. It's amazing. It helps me all the time.
Right.
I don't know about y'all, but Grammarly's a beast.
The butcher coming.
Yeah.
Shout out G for the shop.
Say it was good, man. How you feeling?
I ain't nothing to it, man. You're right though, man. It's at some point you would think they would have somebody check the other person before they put something out. Somebody check this one way or the other, like the misspelling wise. But it's just the sexual assault should be out in the front. But I mean, I still understand the misspelling because it's like, okay, wait a minute. You had all year to get this right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like it was made up overnight. Boom. Who's this?
No, sometimes I think that's what they do. That's what they're doing. Yeah.
But I mean, it can be resolved, but that like you said, that sexual assault thing is out there, and they're trying to get away from it fast as they can, but it's not going nowhere.
And are there any misspellings coming out of the Star?
Not that I know of. That's why we're the most valuable franchise in all of the world.
No. All right, let's try this again.
Set yourself up for that shit.
Oh man.
I mean, there's so much small stuff that happens with the Cowboys as well, but we don't see it as Commanders fans. We don't see those small, innocent little mistakes on websites and misspellings and things like that.
But how
Cowboys fans see it.
Year? How do you
There you go. And I think at the end of the day, it's human error, but it's like, how can you make so many so consistently is the problem. Money doesn't equate to smarts. And we just got to understand that too. You know what I'm saying? You could be the richest and just be smart enough to put the right people around you. This type of stuff is going to happen. It can't say it's not a big deal, but it's like, if you've seen it once, you'll see it again.
I mean, guys come out with misspellings on their jerseys and such, things like that. That happens, that once a month or whatever. All teams do that in all sports. Just things like that. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing, but it's really not that big of a deal because you're dealing with humans. Humans make errors, and I thought it was a little overblown. That's kind of why I'm giving them a pass on this one. I don't give them a pass for a lot of the other stuff, but this one I give them a pass.
All right.
Gigantic franchises too. It's like that's the worst. It's like Joe Biden getting up there and saying, "Read this again." It's like read this line. It's like, dude, you could have picked the worst time to actually make this mistake, and it's going to be so overblown because of who you are in the spotlight you're in right now.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
We just lost Sid because of the internet connection. I don't know what's going on. Sid's probably restarting his router, but it's okay. We'll push on. We will push on. So, Stoner, who would have been the automatics for you off of that list? Now that they've added Trent, who are the automatics for you?
Are you talking about just for like the 90s?
The 90 team, yeah. The 10 that, or if you don't have a full 10, I'm good with that. But
yeah, I mean, Trent Williams is an obvious one. I mean, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, so I don't know how they left that one off, but probably some bad blood there or something like that. But
right,
I mean, Trent Williams would be my number one guy. from the 90s. But, there's a big debate about RG3, whether his 1 year of major success qualifies him for that. I don't think so, but I think he's got to be on the list to at least people to decide. But for sure, I mean, the Trent Williams and the Kirk Cousins and the Santanas and the Portis. Portis was
Portis is
in the
already
last
on.
10 years.
Yeah, he's in the last 10.
Okay, yeah, guys
so
like
we got
that.
Cooley. You got
Cooley.
You got
Kerrigan.
Yep. Okay. So
London.
D Hall, Alfred Morrison, Joe Levine, Levert. I can't say his last name. The Butcher, as Paulie would say it. Trent Williams is on there now. Chris Cooley, Kirk Cousins, Santana Moss. They added RG3, Ryan Kerrigan, Darryl Grant, Chip Lowmiller, London Fletcher, Mike Sellers, Champ Bailey, and Stephen Davis. So for me, I'm automatically I'm going London Fletcher for real. He was a tackling machine. Trent Williams is an automatic for me. Santana is. Mike Sellers. I don't know, man. I'm stuck here when it comes to Mike Sellers and Darryl Grant. I gotta have Darryl Grant on there.
If you stuck, then you know he shouldn't be up there. Because truthfully, I take Darrell Young. I take Darrell Young over Mike Sellers.
That's a good debate right there, Paulie. That's a good debate. I think D Hall and Alfred Morrison, Stephen Davis, like I said, those guys, they're going on, and definitely Tanner. Who do you think automatics for you, Paulie, without even having to think?
London Fletcher, Santana Moss, Darryl Grant. Darryl Grant should have been on the 80.
Should have been in there.
You know what I mean? Trent Williams. The whole thing, all the controversy about the whole Trent Williams things. I mean, listen, man, that was real easy. All they had to say was no active players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Non-active player list, because I'm not even mad at them for initially leaving Trent off the list, man. It's still early in the game. I'm still hurt by the fact that now, 3 years later, he's the best left tackle in the league. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what's crazy about it was a lot of us was yelling 3 years ago, he's the best left tackle in the league. Pay him his money. You know what I mean? Regardless of whatever's going on, like, he's the best left tackle. And then we have a lot of people in the area saying that, he hasn't even made an all-pro. He's okay. The guy out there in Philly probably was better. Your boy out there in Dallas was probably better. But now all of a sudden he's the best left tackle in the league and a sure shot for the Hall of Fame, man. So I would have left him off right now. And 10 years from now, after he's retired and all that is gone, then we could have put him on the 100 list.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
100 list.
Yeah.
So for me, here's one that I didn't know until we started looking back. Is Doc Walker's not on this list? The head, well, I'm not gonna call him the head hog. That was Joe Bugle, but the hog is not on this list. Again, how do we overlook the people that's closest to us, man? Doc moved from the West Coast, drafted by Cincinnati, and comes out here on a trade, and he's been nothing but the dude, man. Doc should be on this list as well. He should already be in the list of one of the greatest 90 Redskins, Commanders, whatever. What do y'all have to say about that?
Listen, man. I mean, this is basically me, you, and Stone conversation. Them other two can just pause their way up out of there.
Hey, I think,
you know what I mean? But listen, as far as Doc go, man, I mean, the problem with they're not looking at Doc don't roll off your tongue as pause as one of the greatest is because he never had, outside of what you just said and being the leader of the fun bunch, he doesn't have a whole handful of exciting plays that's on tape. Doc did the dirty work.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He did the dirty work. Him and Donnie Warren. You know what I mean? They was the dirty work guys. But most definitely Doc, you know what I'm saying, is one of the greatest up there. And what's also crazy about that toothpick is every time they have something dealing with the Redskins of the past, they'll always invite Doc.
Always.
Like he's one of the first guys, one of the first ones that gets the info, one of the first guys they talk to, one of the first guys they get a jacket to, and all this other stuff. So regardless of how they felt, that shouldn't even been put to a question. He should have just been up there regardless. But like I said, when it comes to the fans, I think it's just more or less he's not the first thought because he don't have a handful of highlighted plays that you think of when you think of Doc Walker. So,
yeah, he just doesn't have the stats either. He doesn't have these stats that pop out.
Yeah.
Hey, I got
he
something
did the dirty work.
Mm-hmm.
I got something for y'all though.
Hey, or that John Riggins run against the Dolphins. Who was leading the way? Who was the man kicking the man out? You know what I mean?
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was
He did the dirty work.
He did the dirty work on one of the most prolific plays in all of the NFL. Doc is
And you know what? You need players like that.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You need your Doc Walkers, your Moose Johnsons of the world. The dudes that's gonna do the dirty work. You know what I mean?
Indeed. You absolutely do. We are at that 15-minute mark. So y'all know what that means. It's time to play a little bit of who you got, right? And
bro, we gotta change that name. Who you got?
who you got? Oh man, hold on, wait. There we go. All right. So we got this up here. We got 3 games for you tonight. We got the San Diego Padres and the Colorado Rockies is our first one. And the win line for the Padres is -155. That run line is always set at 1.5. But the run line for the San Diego Padres is +102. The over is -105. And that's 11 runs total. 11 runs total. Colorado's line is +132. Their run line is -121. And the under is set at -114. -114. Stoner's gonna go a little wild. He's gonna do some other things. So Stoner, you going first? Who you got?
I'm just gonna go a little bit off of the main page there and throw a little numbers out at you. They got Clevenger as pitching for the Padres tonight.
Yeah,
he's terrible. He's pitched one other time against Colorado. He pitched 2 innings. They went 5 for 10 against him in those 2 innings. So he's back in Colorado again. Colorado's, they like to hit the ball everywhere. But I'm just going to do a little money line and run parlay. All right. No. So I've got the Padres to win the game, and the total score will be over 11.5 runs.
You like the over?
Yeah, over 11.5. It's in Colorado.
Yep.
The Rockies pitcher, he's terrible too. He's got like a 6-something ERA. So these two teams are gonna just run it up over 11.5, and with the Padres winning, that's +240. That little parlay right there. That's pretty good value. So
hey,
that's
get that in. Hey, he's giving this to you here with plenty of time to parlay that.
Stoner, he ain't nobody, man. Not like he Jimmy the damn Greek or somebody. He's giving it to you.
I just do my homework.
All right. Paulie, who you got?
Hey, same thing Stoner just said.
Hey, that's smart. Let somebody else do all the work.
I guess he's Stoner.
Give me Colorado in that plus, but definitely the over on the runs, man.
Oh, all right. See, look at that. Definitely the over on the run. Say it. Who you got?
Man, Colorado been stinging up the joint. Even them Padres to beat the brakes off of them in Colorado.
I'm definitely gonna win now. Said only picks the Dodgers right.
Hey, you better go back and check the last few games. See who done won now before you talk.
Yeah, you pick the Dodgers every time. That was easy.
Why am I gonna pick against the Dodgers if I know they're gonna win?
You pick the Dodgers every time. That was easy, bro.
Pick against the Dodgers.
Oh my God! He said San Diego money line. Droopy said San Diego money line. Bruce is saying Clevenger's ERA is 3.34, and Gumbado's he said the same thing. The over looks great. The over looks good is what he said. Who you got, Ant?
San Diego win line. I didn't know where Stoner was going for a second because I'm like, is for Clevenger to be so terrible, his numbers beat the other guy in every single category. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, San Diego's clearly a better team. I think Clevenger still get the job done. Just take the win line. I don't want to touch none of the other stuff.
tell you what. I like the over. Stoner, you made all the sense in the world. I am definitely going to go with the San Diego Padres minus the 1.5. I'm gonna take.
So all y'all that took the Padres, huh?
Minus the 1.5. All right.
Yeah.
Hey,
Stoner, Stoner, I'm gonna start calling Stoner Debo because he got mind control over y'all.
He went with Colorado.
Oh, you went with Colorado?
Yeah, he went with Colorado.
So I was right. Everything Stoner said, that's what we rolling with.
I got the Padres and the over.
Oh, you took the
I stand corrected. I thought he had the Padres in the over, and I got Colorado in the over. Like I said, he got mind control over you guys.
I got Padres.
I'm just saying, man. The Padres got some bats, so
yeah,
they play in Colorado.
That's right.
Colorado always got bats in Colorado, and the Padres pitchers suck.
That's true too. All
so
right,
I guess we'll just have to see, huh?
Yeah. Our next game on the board is the Astros versus the Los Angeles Angels right here. The Angels here. So here's Houston's line, minus 129. Their run line is plus 132, and the over is set at 8 with the over of minus 109. The Angels are plus 110, and their run line is minus 157, and the under is minus 109. Stoner, you're up first, man. Who you got?
Well, Otani's pitching tonight for the Angels, so you got to take that in consideration. However, don't overthink it. The Angels are terrible. The Astros are, once again, one of the best teams in the American League. It's still hard to get used to calling them an American League team, but
it is, man. It is.
But they are, and so don't overthink this one, right? Just take the Astros on the run line there, where you're giving up minus 1.5 runs, right?
Yep.
So what? Plus 132 for that? You
plus
said
132. Plus 132.
Just take the Astros. Don't overthink it. It's Otani, but the Angels are terrible. They've got two of the best players in baseball, and they are terrible.
Imagine that.
Take the Astros.
They ain't got two things that match.
Peanut butter, no jelly, ham, no burger. Say it. Who you got?
Man, I know Houston are playing in a little small stadium in Houston this week, but them boys still hit the ball a lot of ground balls, a lot of dinks. So I'm going with these Astros to go ahead and do their thing with the Angels, send the Angels on their way, because the Astros are pretty close to the wild card, if I remember correctly. I get a chance to pull it up. I think they're pretty close to the wild card, according to the standings. So they need to
win the division.
Yeah, Astros are
winning the division.
They're like 13 games up.
Yeah, they one of the top three.
Just like the Astros,
they're a dominant team again.
Paulie, who you got?
Everything Stoner said.
Man, that's smart, man.
He want that same
my guy. Stoner's my guy, man. I want that sandwich he got.
Right.
I want that sandwich he got, man. That's my guy.
Drew said Houston money line and the under. Hey, Ant, who you got?
Actually, it's not. Actually, Noah Syndergaard pitching tonight.
For Houston?
Yeah, it's Noah Syndergaard pitching for
Los Angeles.
And these guys. Yeah, and these guys,
Otani was pitching.
And Noah isn't having a good year.
Oh, I'm about to say they about to light his ass up.
He's not having a good year, but the guys don't have good numbers against him. So I'm actually picking the upset on this one. So I want it's at LA as well. So I'm taking the upset here. I think Noah gonna put something together.
I think Houston's a big ball hitter, and Noah throws that hard ball, jumps off your back. There's going to be some fireworks tonight.
Yeah. Hey, Paulie, you got the same sandwich. Ant went, everybody went, right? It's my pick.
Mm-hmm.
Paulie, they got that killer in L.A. Houston out there getting some of that. I'm rolling with Houston plus the 132 as well.
Houston had the killer first.
All right. Our last game today is the Arizona Diamondbacks versus the San Francisco Giants. This is in San Francisco. Here are the lines for you. Arizona's win line is plus 180. Run line is minus 124. The over is set at 8 at minus 103. San Francisco's line is minus 215 with the run line of plus 105 and an under of minus 118. All right, Stoner, educate us, bro.
Well, first of all, who cares about this particular game other than bettors, right?
Shut up, Bear Rivers.
Diamondbacks and Giants. I'm just gonna go with the over minus 103. I know I'm taking kind of the favorite on that. I'm losing a little money on that, losing a little juice. But that's what I'm going to take. I'm taking the over in that game. Dallas Keuchel, I believe, is pitching. I'm pretty ticked off because I was looking at the who's pitching for the Angels and the site I was using, and I wasn't using Bet Rivers. That's my fault.
Gotta use it.
Right. I should have been using them.
See what happened when you don't use Bet Rivers,
right.
bro?
I was using a different site. Ohtani's pitching. Then I went to Bet Rivers, and they had the correct pitcher, Syndergaard.
There you go. Shout out Bet Rivers for all the updates and stats.
I'm assuming Keuchel is pitching for Arizona. That one is correct, and he's terrible. So just a lot of runs will be scored. I got the over.
Got the over. And who you got?
San Francisco win line. Give me the over. Like he said, Keuchel is terrible. They're going to have to put him down sooner or later. So why not get it started tonight?
Why not? Paulie, who you got?
I got the D-backs, bro. Pause. You know what I mean? All y'all bagging on Keuchel. Keuchel will come out here and have a good night tonight. Okay. You know what I mean?
Not possible.
He can hold on to that job tonight. You know what I'm saying? You ain't sending me down to AAA.
I'm not getting on that bus.
Yeah. You're right. You'll get designated for assignment.
Give me Diamondbacks and the under on the runs.
Diamondbacks and the under. Say who you got.
Man, I don't like neither one of these teams.
See?
You know what? Look, I don't have a corner. I can flip it, and whoever get heads is the one I'm gonna pick.
Pause.
Since Giants is the home team, I'm gonna go with the Giants. How about that?
How about that? Say you hit us with a stat.
I don't like neither one of these squads.
Maybe 2 weeks ago when you said that San Francisco is terrible on the road and they win at home. So just off of that fact alone, I'm going with San Francisco to win this thing at home because both of these teams are terrible, right? So that's where I'm going with that.
Oh man.
All right, I'm gonna clean up these stats. I'm gonna clean up this chat real fast, man. Let's go. Bruce was the first one in the building today, followed by our guy Kyle. He had something to say. Say it. 28-3. Say it.
I'm gonna shake Kyle. I see him in person.
You gonna shake him?
Shake him? Oh, I thought you said shake him.
Cal also said that the Commanders are Bush League for making all these mistakes, and then we got that happy birthday shout out to you, big dog, from my main man Drew. Kyle,
all week, baby.
Yeah, he said Trent Williams is and this is fact right here. Trent Williams is the first tackle to reach the 99 status in Madden. 99 overall in Madden. Come on, man. We had that on our squad and we don't know more. So everybody helped pick up some games. And guess who is in the building?
Football guards in the building. And I say, y'all don't deserve to have a left tackle with 99 rating. That's why he's out in 49 land.
But if we're being honest, it had a lot more to that story than, you know what I'm saying, just not paying the man. So
yeah. Well, that's true.
Hey, and a lot of people are arguing that he's the best player in football. Not just tackle, like the best player. Like that is a widespread thing. So that gotta hurt to lose. Because you can't.
Ain't nobody talking about him being the best player in the league.
Stop seriously.
No, seriously. I'm being serious. Nobody arguing about him being the best player in the league. They're arguing about him being the best lineman in the league, but not the best player in the league. Stop it, man. Stop indulging. Anybody don't sting it. They don't sting. It don't sting. That was 3 years ago. He gone.
Yeah, I think we over the sting.
You know what I mean? We walked out the door. It stung when the door stung my nose when he first slammed it 3 years ago. Right now, it's an afterthought, man. We only bringing it up because they're bringing up this 90s stuff.
Paulie, hold on. I got to ask you a question because I think me, you, and Sanchez was on the podcast when he led the 49ers out of the tunnel with the dude that had the big radio, and him and Debo was coming down. Like, oh, that hurt. that hurt right there. With the dude with the monster radio in the playoffs, and they coming out. Oh man, that hurt. That hurt bad.
Hey man, it hurt. It hurt seeing him at the podium looking like Debo for real. Looking like Suge Knight. You know what I mean? With his 8-carat, 24-inch chain out there, joint. That's when it hurt. And we missed that attitude. You know what I mean? Yeah. Come on, man. Trent was our guy, bro.
All right, let's jump into some wide receivers. Y'all ready to do this?
Oh yeah.
Let's go. Oh, football god just what happened, football god? Okay, he'll come back.
He went to heaven.
When he comes back, we will bring him back in. Was that? He said, "Was that the same game? Probably slipped on the ice." I think it might have been. Corey. I think it might have been. Hey, we're gonna start with our rookies, but we're not gonna start with the rookie. Okay. All right. I'm gonna save that one right there. Let's get to this one right here. Let's get to this rookie right here. This guy's name is Kendra Mcgowan. He's wearing number 83. He's 5'11", 198 pounds. He's a rookie out of Georgia Tech. Now, this guy right here transferred from Northwestern, where he amassed a lot of targets. My guy had a pretty good year when he was at Northwestern. He had 773 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then he transferred to Georgia Tech, where he only scored. He had 37 catches, 467 yards, and 7 touchdowns. He had a career high in touchdowns, but Georgia Tech is a running school. He had to know that before he transferred, or why else would he go there, right? So this guy hasn't reached his potential, but he's one of those guys that stayed in school, matured, and he's a polished route runner. The question is, does he have what it takes to make this roster and scratch himself out a spot on this roster? Stoner, we start with you. You the guest, man.
Yeah, you're going to hear this a lot for the first few guys that you're going to bring up, and he is such a non-factor. He is a jag. He is a guy that, that we're going to talk about now that we'll never hear from again. Look, he's an incredible athlete. He's done some amazing things. Relatively speaking, though, he doesn't belong on the field with the guys who are going to actually be playing. So I just think him and some of the other guys, like I said, that you're going to mention are just irrelevant. They're just practice bodies. They're just guys out there to fill out the 90-man roster. They're not going to be a part of this football team.
I got you. And
he was a guy that I watched the whole film, the whole highlight film on, and it was cool, but it wasn't anything that stuck out. If I got to watch the whole film and it's not because I'm intrigued by something that stuck out, I don't see it. And he's not a big guy. He's kind of, just average, run-of-the-mill kind of size when it comes to a receiver. I don't see it being much in that.
Okay, say it.
Well, first of all, he transferred to Georgia Tech. That tells you everything you need to know.
Receiver, right?
Georgia Tech had one wide receiver come out of there named Megatron.
That's about it.
That's it.
He left early.
They're just the offensive scheme they run. They're run first offensive scheme, and the problem was they didn't have the pieces to get the offense to work, and the head coach was talking trash, so everybody piled on him. So even when they got the ball, they were trying to get the ball back to their offense so they can score more points. That being said, the tape that he had is mediocre. Like Stoner said, he's going to be a camp body. If he can go out there and camp and show something, maybe special teams, but as of right now, he's a camp body. He got to show something special for them to keep him. I mean, it's as simple as that.
Camp body.
Got you.
That's all he is.
Camp body. All right. Now, Stoner, you just said something, man. You said these guys are camp bodies. This next name I'm about to bring up, he's got a shot. So you're telling me he's got a shot, all right?
So you're telling me there's a chance.
There's a chance, right? Jacquez Izzert, I think that's his name.
Camp body.
Wearing number 84. He's 5'10", 195 pounds. He's 24 years old. He's a rookie out of Sam Houston State, transferred from Howard University. Now, my guy Quez here, Let's get to it. Quez in his career with Howard University, 32 games, 143 yards, 143 receptions, 2,213 yards, 23 touchdowns, average 15.5 per reception. He had 28 kick returns, average of 20.8 yards. At Sam Houston, 32 games, so he's a senior. 32 games, 78 receptions, 1,465 yards, 15 touchdowns, 22.4 per. He also had 18 punt returns for 314 yards and 2 punt returns with a long of 80. Now, this guy is small in stature but explosive. His coaches speak of him saying that they've never seen anybody just go 0 to 60.
And his ability to just get in the end zone is unbelievable, man. This guy is a phenomenal player.
I am impressed by this guy. I really am. Listen, you just got to watch the tape. Can't call this guy a camp body. I think it'll be easy for him to make special teams. And like I said earlier in pregame, I believe that if he sees the field, it's going to be hard to take him off the field. Those numbers stick out. He has done he's going up in traffic. He's breaking away. He's a big body. I said he reminds me of Anquan. He's not
5'10" is not a big body. The last guy is 5'11".
I'm not talking about tall. I mean, he's got decent size on him that it the trend with you guys that I've seen from a lot of your receivers, if you just go down the list, you only got 2 guys over 6 foot out of 13 receivers.
Facts.
And so y'all like a lot of the guys who play big, guys that are good in traffic. You know what I'm saying? And he's one of those guys. To be a rookie, I think he's going to have his bumps and his learning curves, but I like this guy to actually be a part of this team. I see that. I really do. But what do I know? I'm not a
There's less than zero chance that he's a part of this 53-man roster or any kind of roster for this team. He's a camp body. He was playing against guys that looked like me when he was in college. That's how he racked up all those stats. Jarrett Patterson had 7 touchdowns in 1 game and had all those incredible stats. You get to the NFL, it's a different ball game. You're playing against men. He was playing against boys all those times. So unless you stand out against big-time competition, I'm not giving you much chance. If there are, I can count on one hand probably of guys who came from small schools and became stars or even everyday players.
Well, we had one. We had Brian Keith Mitchell.
Okay,
right?
That's one.
Now this guy played quarterback.
There was about 700.
You're absolutely right.
Didn't make it.
But if this kid shows something in practice, goes out, and then does something on special teams, because that's how he's got to make the team. To make the field, you got to do something on special teams. We keep saying this, right? We said this about all the D-backs that we had, right? Them D-backs better go get in line and catch some balls, some punts, some kickoff returns, and things like that. You better try to unemploy Jarrett Patterson by returning something to the house. I don't care if it's kicked 20 yards deep in the end zone. You better go up in the stands, catch it, and run it out.
Yeah.
You got to get somebody's attention, though.
He's a camp body, man.
You want to bet 50 spot on it?
Whoa.
Big. I was actually going to throw a 20 spot out there, but he went 50. All right, so what
this ain't my team. This ain't my team.
That's
I like
even worse.
This guy. I like this guy, man. I'm telling you.
You
tell that to Shannon Sharp. You tell that to Shannon Sharp. Like, it's not. Of course, there are your few guys that are going to stick out at the smaller universities, but that doesn't mean that a lot of the time. What was the little guy that played for Chicago, the running back?
Yeah, the guy who just tore his Achilles again.
Cohen.
Tariq Cohen.
Yeah. Some of these guys stand out because they're good enough. It's not because the grades sucked or they weren't the smartest. Yeah, I'm like, all right, I like
here's
this
the
guy.
problem. This is a very strong receiving core, especially the first 5, and then you get all the way to 7. You've got to. I don't see how you're going to unseat any of those guys in those top 7. So if we're talking about if he's going to make the 53-man squad, I just don't see it that they're going to keep him over. If you're just talking about special teams like Bruce is talking about there, you're gonna take him over guys who have already proven that they can do special teams, and they brought in guys to return punts. They brought in Erickson to do that. You know, a guy who's been doing it for 7 years. So it's gonna take. I mean, he's gonna have to really, really, really overcome a huge log jam of players, and he really has to stand out. I just don't. I'm going with the odds on this. It's not personal against him. I'm just going with the odds that it's almost impossible for him to do it.
But there is a way.
Sure, there's absolutely always. And we never heard of Steven Sims until he broke through in training camp that 1 year and made the roster. Next thing you know, he's starting in the slot. But so it happens.
Hey, Stoner, I don't know if it's not personal. Are you jealous because he went to Howard and you didn't?
Sure. Listen to the schools that he went to, though. I mean, Howard and Georgia Tech, the young man's got some intelligence.
Sam Houston State.
To go to those schools.
There's Paulie.
You know, the thing being that the guy, you know, as I went back and looked at some more stuff on him, the guy has a decent wheel. So if he can apply that, you know, to special teams like we're saying, you know, he's averaging over 20 yards a return. You know, that's a big return in NFL. If you can get 20 yards, you know, just think about it. You know, that's 35, 40 yard line starting position. If he can come out and apply that to the system, he might be able to make it special teams.
Yeah.
But like Stoner said, y'all first 5 wide receivers is deep, tough. It's gonna be hard to crack those first 5. So if he can come out and do that, then he has a possibility. Because I mean, I got one of my squad, Patterson. That's what Patterson was known for. You know, kickoff returns. All these teams he went to with kickoff returns, and then sporadically people will put him in at slot, running back. You know, now he's a full knife in Atlanta. Slot, running back, tight end, kick returns. He's still doing it all. So it's a possibility.
Paulie, we talk about Jacquez. We talk about Jacquez Izzert. Jacquez Izzert, number 84, 5'10", 195, 24 years old, rookie out of Sam Houston State, went to Howard University. We're talking about the best way that he could possibly make the team, which is looking like, I mean, he's explosive, he's fast. I forgot to give y'all my man's 40 time too.
Are you going to trust him to return to field a punt and return it in the NFL in week 1? Or are you going to trust Alec Erickson, who's been doing it for 7 years in the NFL?
Ooh, I got something for you about that.
First of all, he ain't going to do it neither. That's going to be Danny Johnson's job.
Or Danny Johnson or whomever.
But in saying that, man, this dude, you know, I caught on the tail end of what y'all saying. Most definitely he's going to have to stand out of preseason. One thing about free agent wide receivers, you got to show, first of all, you got good hands. You know what I mean? Then you have to show that you can be some type of contributor on special teams. And like you said, with how the roster is currently constructed, this is going to be a 5-receiver team on the depth chart for the 53. You know, so he's definitely playing for a practice squad position, and you know he just got to go out there and ball out. You know, and players like him, you know, it's about putting good film on tape and hopefully making that practice squad. You know, and if somebody gets hurt at the wide receiver position, or somebody gets hurt and whoever is handling the punt return, kick returns duties, you know, they're expecting to plug a player like him in there for a game or two to see how he does. So, you know, I ain't gonna say cut, but definitely just fighting for a practice squad position. Cut.
Practice squad, that means they're going to put some developmental into him. But here are his cons, according to our guy, Burgundy and Gold. Shout out Burgundy and Gold, man. We got you in our thoughts and prayers, bro. Your body at times rather than extending. Concerns concentration lapse, which leads to uncontested drops. But he said slight, limited catch raises and size overall impacts early. has his room to add more size and everything like that, but he's easily stonewalled when facing press coverage, which is something in the NFL you got to do. You got to be able to beat that man coverage, but hopefully with some coaching, we can get him up there. All right, our next wide receiver that's a rookie is one that everybody's been talking about. He's wearing number 1. His name is Josh Dotson, not to be confused with Jahan Dotson, right. Not to be confused with Josh Dotson. He's wearing number 1. He's 5'11", 182 pounds. He's 22 years old. He's a rookie out of Penn State. Now, everybody saw the one-handed catch versus Ohio State. Said, one of my big things is who did they play against and who did they show out against? When you playing the caliber of corner that Ohio State has and you still put the numbers and doing things like that, you got to be a little bit.
They don't got no good corners at Ohio State.
Wait, Paulie, wait.
That's all they got at Ohio State.
They put out one good corner, man. That's Lattimore.
No, Lattimore was there with that whole secondary got drafted, Paulie.
I don't care about getting drafted. What they doing? Lattimore's the only dude I see balling.
Lattimore is a beast. I can't lie. Lattimore is a beast, but you got Jeff Okudah who needs a bounce back year right now.
Who? Yeah, I need to bounce back year. They ain't doing nothing in the league.
He was hurt last year. That's why he needs a bounce back. Him and Chase, he was hurt. We'll get into Ohio State right now. We talking about this our first draft pick out of.
We shall be getting to Ohio State real soon, though, baby. It's almost college football season too.
Man. Yeah. Stoner, what you got on Jahan?
Well, some of the things you were talking about there, like against Ohio State, also to be noted is that the quarterback who was throwing to him was garbage, and he was still putting up the kind of numbers that he put up, which, you know what I mean? I mean, they had nobody throwing him the ball.
So he should feel right at home.
So he should feel home with Carson. But you know what I always do when I look at guys in training camp, and they haven't had training camp yet, but in the OTAs and all that stuff, guys who stand out, guys who pop, the beat reporters who are impressed with certain guys and what they're doing. In the same way that there are guys who don't pop and you're like, oh, this is going to be trouble, right? But he popped in training camp or in OTAs with a lot of guys around him. Terry wasn't there, but he had some of the other mainstays on this team at receiver, and he was by far, by all accounts, he was the best receiver. So that is impressive when you're a rookie learning a new offense with a quarterback you've never played with. All of those things combined, I think he's going to be a star, but not an NFL star. He's not going to be a Pro Bowl or anything like that. He's going to be a star with this team. Meaning, I mean, he's not going to have like 80 catches and 1,200 yards, but he's going to be exactly what you think he's going to be. He's going to catch everything around him, and he's going to make plays when he's needed. And so this is exactly what this offense needed to support Carson Wentz and to be a better football team. Really, really excited about Jahan Dotson.
All right. Flash.
You're excited. Wait, so you're excited about a guy who you said isn't going to even get 80 catches?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I like the guy. If you watch him on film, he's always making big plays, getting downfield, great in space. I think that is something, like you said, good hands, all around going to be a solid player. As I look at this roster, I know we're 2 or 3 deep here. I think, forget the Eagles, I think that Washington has a real potential to be a problem if everything works together. And this receiving core, if you look at the guys that y'all have amassed, it's got to all come together. Of course, Carson's mind got to be right. The receivers got to do what they do. But you
talking about Dotson?
Yeah. but they
straight away.
It looks good though. He looks good, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's something to pay. He's definitely somebody to pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
Paulie, go.
Everything Stoner said. We can leave that.
Hey.
Nah. But listen, man. Look, man. I hate lists. I hate beat writers even more. You know what I mean? I don't care what a beat writer's saying. You tell me he's the best receiver out there, bro. He's not better than Curtis Samuels at this point. He's not even a better receiving threat than J.D. McKissick at this point. What you're seeing is his raw fundamental talent. You know what I mean? When you start getting out there on that field and you going up against Lattimore's, when you going up against Slay, when you going up against what's my man they just picked up from the Giants? The Eagles just picked up from the Giants.
The one that we wanted, right? Oh,
yeah, no, but you know what I'm talking about. When you going up against the Diggs of the world, man, it's a whole different ball game out there. But Bradbury. Yeah, you going against Bradbury, you going against Diggs. It's a whole different ball game out there. But when you put them on the field as a combo with a Terry McLaurin and a Curtis Samuels and a J.D. McKissick, then you're right. He becomes the X factor. And that's what we've been looking for. That's what we've been needing. We needed we needed an explosive X factor guy out there.
That's right.
You know, so if he and it also allows him to bring him along slowly. You ain't got to just throw him in there as your number 2 receiver, as they try to do with a couple of other guys in the past, Deanna Brown and AGG, and who wasn't ready to play. You know, so you could kind of bring him along slowly. He's gonna be that third guy. You know, occasionally he'll be that second guy. You know what I mean? So I'm looking for him to have 45 to 50 catches this year. I'm looking for him to have maybe like 10 to 15 explosive plays. And don't be surprised you see him back there returning a couple of punts every now and again too. So I think he'll have a good rookie campaign.
Say it.
All right. I was watching some of the film on this guy. I mean, he always seemed to get open. You know, again, this is college, but against some of the teams, Auburn, Wisconsin, you know, he always just seemed to be open, and he catches the ball there. I mean, it was a few bad passes that he had to jump up and risk his life to get, but he did that. But it also showed him catching some short plays, making a couple moves, and stringing it out to like 30 or 40 yards, which means he's explosive. I mean, that's what the offense needs. Now, if he goes out and show out in the preseason, y'all gonna have to try to find a way to hide him. you may have to sign him just to hide him.
He's a first round draft pick.
Listen, man, he gonna see a lot. He's not gonna see a lot of snaps in the preseason anyway.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's gonna be interesting. He should make this roster.
I'm gonna tell you
what
I've
seen.
seen.
Should make the roster. He's first damn draft pick. First he's gonna make the roster, man. Hey, let me add one more thing. Another thing that impressed me with his college career is he got better every year. You know, each year he got better. And that shows me right there that he wasn't just resting on his laurels of having a good year the previous year. That he worked to get better. And listen to him talk. He has a good head on his shoulders. You know what I mean? That impressed me also. His productivity got better each year.
His coach said he has a crazy work ethic. His his college wide receiver coach said he has a crazy work ethic, which is also good. I'm gonna tell you something. As much as we do some crazy things with our rookies in the preseason, I would love to see the Commanders do what Cincinnati did with their first round wide receiver last year. Play him in preseason. Remember, Chase had all those drops in the preseason, but during the regular season, my man was catching everything that was coming his way. Let him get out there, get them drops out of the way. Get them out of the way now. Get the speed of the game, even though it's going to go up in regular season. Play this guy and do not be afraid to play him, man.
Then the opposite of that, though, is what they did with McClure, right? McClure was a standout in camp, and they decided to hide him in the preseason. They decided
to hide him for the first game
because they didn't want anybody to know. So they weren't worried about getting the drops out of the way.
You
got it.
It wasn't even about they were trying to hide him because they didn't want nobody to know. We were so thin at that wide receiver position, they were scared he was getting hurt. And they was gonna have to rely on Mr. Softy, Josh Dotson. I really believe that. Hey, while it's on my mind, man, real quick, I want to shout out the Cuzzo, man. The Cuzzo Jordan Whitehead, man. Hey, bro, I appreciate the football, man. You know what I mean? I appreciate the love you show my mother and father at the football camp up there in Pittsburgh this weekend, man. And I'm gonna get in touch with you, bro. Appreciate you.
All right, shout out Jordan Whitehead. That's real. All right. Where are we at? Oh, first year.
Y'all know what Jordan Whitehead is, safety for New York Jets, previous Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Super Bowl champion.
Yeah. When you said Whitehead, I already knew who you was talking about. Hold on. Didn't he get that 15-yard penalty for giving Tyreek the peace sign at the end of that game?
Did they win?
Yeah,
Did
they won that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Whitfield.
He got a Super Bowl ring and 14 mil. I don't care how many flags he got.
Hey, so
get paid, young nigga. Get paid.
We got Michaels, Markin Michaels, number 19. He's 5'11", 191 pounds. He's 29 years old. Wait, that can't be right. It says my man is 29 years old.
That's Michelle.
Who's that?
Brother.
Oh, Michelle. That's
who's 29 years old.
Mark and Michelle.
It's Mark and Michelle.
That's Sony Michelle's brother.
Michelle brother. Yeah.
He's 29.
Yeah. That's Sony Michelle brother.
He's only been in the league for 1 year.
Couple years
ago. Go to the Army?
I'm about to say we didn't play baseball or something.
I don't know what his deal is.
I don't know. But
I know what his deal is. Cut.
All right, go ahead.
He's got some good film. He stayed making plays. He was another guy that was good on the deep ball down the field. Like, I'm not saying he's making a squad or nothing like that, but he was a guy that if you just looking at the film alone, he looks like a pretty solid player. So,
Flash, let me ask you this, Flash.
If anything, he'll be a solid camp guy.
Flash, let me ask you this, Flash. I didn't do my homework on that dude. You did. Appreciate you for that. What film are you talking about? Are you talking about college? You talking about he was on preseason with somebody? What film are you talking about?
Yeah, it was a lot of college for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a lot of college for sure. For sure.
Yeah, so in 2020 he played with the Carolina Panthers. He played 2020 he played with the Carolina Panthers. So he's a Panther. Hey, what's up, Richie Rich? 2 games, no stats, right? Go ahead. What you got?
He's got some Canadian Football League. He's just got a lot of playing with teams but getting cut all the time. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't really have a whole lot of experience. So camp body, appreciate you. Catch a couple passes from who's that third quarterback they got, the big tall rookie donk? Who's that guy?
Cole Kelly.
Yeah.
Enjoy catching passes from him in camp and all that, and then get your per diem each day, and then head on home when camp.
Hey, that per diem is big, brother.
Baby.
That per diem is big.
Shout out per diem.
That's like $1,200 a week.
Yeah,
camp, bro.
Man. So he has been bouncing around. He has been bouncing around in the league. He was with Philly. He had this crazy catch at the end of a game. Snatched it away from the safety. He ran a post, snatched it away from the safety, took off to the end zone, pounded the ground. He said he dreamed about it the night prior, that he would run a post, catch a touchdown. He has bounced around to plenty of teams. I already told you he's a Panther now.
All right, so as management, as a scout, as management, you thinking, okay, this guy he's an older guy, you know what I mean? So he's a professional football player, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so he come out, he do something in the preseason. He's not gonna make the roster, but that's practice squad material. He's gonna give you a good look when it comes to a scout team. You know what I mean? And if somebody gets hurt, you'll be able to put them up, bring them up on game day or whatever in the pinch. And you have confidence you got confidence that he ain't gonna go out there and wet the bed.
Right. Right as you were saying that, Bruce came out and said, practice squad.
Hey, Bruce, my guy, man. Shout out, Bruce. What's going on, baby?
Kyle's W, bro. Too, man.
Kyle, what's up? Kyle, catching them checks, Kyle. You know what I mean? It's my guy, man.
All right, we're going to get into second-year wide receivers now. Oh, no, we still on first years, right? We still on first years. Do I have to do it? Of course I have to. This is a big year. It's a make-or-break year for this guy right here coming up that I'm about to talk about. He wears number 2. His name's Deanna Brown. He's 6 foot, 195 pounds.
Yeah.
22 years old. Out of the University of North Carolina. 12 catches last year. He played in all but one game. Stoner.
Very disappointing rookie year, man. Very disappointing. Couldn't get separation, which was kind of his whole thing, is that he was so fast that he was always getting separation, and he couldn't separate from these NFL DBs. So he's going to be maybe the 4th or the 5th receiver. He's probably not going to get a whole lot of playing time now that they drafted Jahan Dotson. So you're going to have Mcclure, Dotson, Samuel, and he's going to fight for that 4th spot with Cam Sims, the 4-5 spot. So I don't know. I don't think it's a make or break year, but he's definitely got to improve on what he did last year if he wants a future in the NFL.
I totally disagree with that. Totally disagree. He had an injury riddled first year. I don't care how many games he suited up for. A lot of them games he was hurt. You know, excuse me. They're grooming him. This is what you call player development. Curtis Samuel's not going to see a second contract unless he go out here and pull a Deshaun Jackson in these next 2 seasons. You know what I mean? So they're grooming him to replace a Curtis Samuels. You know what I mean? As much as I love Cam Sims, and I do love Cam Sims, you know, they're not going to keep signing him in 1-year deals.
Right.
Cam is not going to keep signing 1-year deals. Eventually, he's going to go somewhere where he's going to get some bona fide time to play. So, outside of Curtis Samuels, McKissick, and Jahan Dotson, you know, I don't know if you noticed this last year. One thing about this team is they like to rotate them receivers. You know, if you on an active roster on game day as a receiver, you're going to get some plays. And the more positive plays you make, the more plays you're going to get. So now it is important for him to show progress from year 1 to year 2. Now that I will agree with you on. But I like his skill set, you know, and they need to play to his skill set too. Because now you got enough receivers in there that can do some things where you could just run Deanna Brown up the sideline on deep balls instead of trying to have him look like Chris Carter running the whole damn route tree. And that's what I seen that they were doing with him last year. They tried to make him a route runner, and he didn't even know how to get off the line of scrimmage yet.
Right.
My man said limited route tree. He said
limited. Is that my man Bruce?
No, that's not Bruce. That's Will. With one L.
Shout out Will, man. Hey, you see, man? You see what I'm saying, man? Man, these first stringing dudes is good, bro. They think just like me, bro. You know what I mean? Come on, man.
Hey,
Come on, man.
It's actually interesting to see what his 40 actually was, because looking at him in North Carolina where Sam Howell was actually throwing him the ball, I didn't see a speedy guy. I saw a guy who know how to get loose sometimes, you know, decent like body catcher, but I liked him. Like, you look at the film in North Carolina and with Washington, even though it was in limited time, like Paulie was saying, I was wondering if it was because he was hurt or if it was because they don't know how to utilize guys. The one thing I keep hearing y'all talk about is how they don't play guys the right way. So I think it'll be interesting to see how he progresses in the second year if he's not hurt, you know, and he's able to get that burn and they rotate guys like Paulie is saying. But on film, a really try-hard guy, he you know, he's going to fight for the ball type guy. Not a speedy guy per se, but I like him.
Speedy guy. Bro, that's what he do.
I didn't see
you know why you didn't see him? Because they had him running the whole damn route tree. And the combination of we didn't have a quarterback to get the ball out there deep anyways.
Heineke could not get him the ball.
There you go. So, it kind of worked. That deficiency kind of worked hand in hand against his skills.
Which makes sense because a lot of the stuff that the catches he was getting was 10 yards down the field, 12 yards down the field, around them. You know what I'm saying? So it was like it didn't stick out that he was like a burner like that.
I got something to say about this. All right. And this is what I have to say. Tyreek Hill didn't come in the league running the whole route tree, but what he had was speed to kill, right? And Andy Reid had him running routes. Like he might start off running this route. But Andy Reid found ways to get him the ball, right? And yes, he has Patrick Mahomes, but if our people just think, okay, we have a quarterback that doesn't have a good ball, why can't we run him on a shorter route, get him in some space, and let him use that speed to go? So then we can start to build his route tree and use him the right way. So that's why I'm so disappointed in him. and in the team for not developing him. We don't
No,
have
you said it though. You said it. Who's the first name you said?
Tyreek Hill.
No. The first name you said, Andy Reid.
Coaches.
We got Scott Turner.
I was just gonna say,
You know what I'm saying? We got Scott Turner. You talking about Andy Reid, bro?
Hey,
we got Scott Turner.
Can you do me a favor? Can you push that button so I can talk to Football God?
Oh man, he handling some more business right now, bro.
Okay. Offensively and defensively, it sounds like a bunch of scheme issues.
It is, bro. I'm glad you picked up on that.
Yeah, that's
exactly what it is.
When I hear you guys talk about how talented guys are, you got a guy in the DB who he's a man guy, but they trying to play him in zone. It's just like, when will they get it? Like, you got to put the right coaches in position to equal some success for these players, because they're professionals. They'll show up. They'll do their job. But it doesn't equal success if you don't use them to the best of their ability, period.
Facts. Nothing but facts right there, what you just said. Say it, go.
I mean, he's right. I mean, there's not a lot to say here. There's a possibility that he was hurt last year. And, you know, like Stoner and Paulie Bowl said, quarterback couldn't get him the ball when he was running deep. You know, that's a factor, you know, whether we want to say it or not. Again, it'd be interesting to see whether or not he's healthy and can play in the proficient. If he can do that and somebody adjusts the scheme properly, it may be different here. You got a quarterback who can throw the different angles and back shoulders and all that stuff right there this year. So it should be different. He should respond different. And if he does, that's only a quality addition to the team. Because now you just don't have one, you have multiple that can do the same thing, and now there's no doubles at wide receiver. You know, those wide receiver, then we can run the ball. Now that we can run the ball, what you gonna do? Play action. So it opens up more than everything else. So let's hope that he can do what he's supposed to do when he gets to camp at the end of this month, and we'll see.
So as I go back and look at this game log, right? I'm seeing exactly what all of us are trying to say. Versus the Giants in week 2, he had 3 catches for a longer 22. He had an average of 11.3. Versus the Cowboys in week 16, he had 2 targets. He had a longer 48, right? And then versus the Eagles the following year, 1 catch for a longer 25. So they did send him deep a lot, and I do get it, and I do understand that too. But hold
on. 2 of those 3 games was towards the end of the year when they finally got their head out their ass and figured, like, you know what? Maybe we throwing too much on his plate. Let's just do what he do best.
Yeah.
And was that the catch against Diggs in the end zone? Was he the guy?
No, that was Cam Sims. That was Cam Sims.
There's no touchdowns.
That was Cam Sims. If I remember correctly, that was like a little a skinny post that he caught. It made a good catch on.
All right. The next player we're going to talk about here is one that I really want to see more of. This guy's on the bubble this year as well. Dax Milne, wearing number 15, wide receiver, 6 foot, 190, 23 years old, second year out of BYU. All right. We mostly saw him on special teams and sometimes in the slot. Hey, he's got to fight to make a roster spot this year or go to the practice squad if not cut.
That's completely wrong.
Go, Paulie.
Nah. I like what I saw from Dax Milne for a 7th round pick, and I do believe he was a 7th round pick last year. This man, when he stepped on the field, he played like he belonged on the field. You know, he actually, to me, I think I understand why they had, what's my guy? What's the little short dude out there? Fitztragic best boy.
Humphreys. Adam
Humphreys. I understood why they had Humphreys. They wanted a veteran presence in there. But I think at some point, Humphreys was hindering the development of some of these players. And I think Milne was one of them. But I like what I seen from Milne last year. He was quicker and faster than I thought he was. He played well in that slot, and I see big things from Milne this year in the slot. So I like Milne, and another player who has the ability to return punts.
Yeah, absolutely. Stoner.
Yeah, I think that last statement right there is he is a guy who they can go to if they need to return punts, because he is kind of on the bubble. But I agree with Paulie that he's going to make the roster. He'll be the 7th receiver on this squad, 6th or 7th receiver.
Who you got ahead of him? I got him. Who you got? Terry, Curtis, Dotson, Sims, Diami. He's 6. You're right.
And
That's it right there. It stops at 6.
If they go to 7, then obviously he'll easily make it. But if they don't bring anybody else in, then he's definitely their number 6 receiver. But
and Ron don't cut draft picks.
But like I always tell my guys on Ref the District, I hope Dax Milne never sees the field, because if he does, that means your top 3 or 4 receivers are not in the game, and those are your difference makers. Right. I don't ever want to see Dax Milne playing in the football game for the Commanders, because that means at wide receiver. That means McLaurin's not in there, or Samuel's not in there, or Dotson's not in there. One of your difference makers is not on the field. I don't want to see him ever.
No, he's going to be his main priority as a receiver will be in the slot. So you figure between you figure that slot job off the jump is going to either be between who they decide, Curtis Samuels or Jahan Dotson. Right. So if he's on the game day roster, you're going to see him play. And pick a herd, you throwing it in there. He has this punt return job is wide open.
It's wide.
You know what I mean? That's going to be a battle in his training camp. So if he goes out here in the preseason, he shows he can handle that position. Then he might have just solidified his way on the active roster on game day, because he's going to be on the 53.
The preseason, he's
going to be on the 53.
Yeah. But what I'm saying about him playing is that if he's the backup slot guy, and let's just say Curtis Samuel is the guy, and if Dax Milne is in there, Dax Milne's a fine player. He can't touch Curtis Samuel in terms of ability and playmaking ability. So if he's in there, that means Curtis Samuel's not in there, and your chances of making a play while he's in there are lessened. And so I don't want to see him in there. He's fine. He's quality. He's going to make the team, all that stuff. He's not a difference maker like the other guys ahead of him are.
Yeah. How many years has he been in?
This is going into his second year.
So there's no real way of knowing, based off of the franchise and all of that, if he really is a difference maker. But what I do know is looking at, he's got pretty good speed. Mm-hmm. He's good in traffic. He's good after the catch. It's actually, the punt return job sounds like something that he could make a real run at. And if he gets some burn in the slot like y'all are talking about, or like Paulie was talking about, he's got the opportunity to at least take himself off of that bubble to where he can start seeing a little more burn. So I'm like, I think with those guys, it's not enough film. It's not like an Erickson where, like you said, he's been in the league for 7 years, but I mean, is he an all-timer or something, or is he just a solid, decent, you know what I'm saying, like pro? So I'm like, I think with him, just give it a chance, because the film shows that it's at least worth putting him out there for a punt return, putting him out there in the slot for a couple plays with somebody that can actually throw him the ball, you know, like Carson, and see what he can do. So yeah, I like the kid, man. That's why I said I like this receiving core.
All things being equal, though, do you want to see Curtis Samuel, or do you want to see Dax Milne?
Curtis Samuel.
For sure.
So that's just kind of what I'm saying. Is
Curtis all day,
absolutely.
Is it's important to have backups, and it's important he's going to play if he's on the roster as a receiver. But when he's in there, I'm like, well, we have less of a chance to score on this particular play because Curtis Samuel's on the sideline and Dax Milne's in the game instead of the opposite.
And
that's all. It's just kind of a relative sort of thing.
Right,
Dax Milne, I think, is a good player, but not as good as Curtis Samuel. So hopefully,
you want to go with the proven commodity over the. Yeah, we'll see. You know.
Yeah.
Dave, what you got?
Okay. The guy's a quality slot guy. I mean, you can't discount quality slot guys because there are some people who made some of the biggest transitions in the NFL from being slot guys who weren't super overly fast, super quick, but were great slot guys. I mean, you guys already said that if you're on the starting, if you're active on game day, the chances are you're going to play. Not saying the other guys are hurt, but you guys said if you're on an active squad, The chances are, as wide receivers, they rotate y'all in. The chance is going to play. You might well make sure, even at the second year, this guy's going to be a quality slot guy. Because like Edelman, just give you an example. I'm not saying Edelman. I'm just saying, just like Edelman, not overly fast, not overly tall, quick. You can catch the ball, get that 7-8 yards, sometimes break a big one. If he's going to fit that mold, that's what you want. You know, that's what you need to see. And, the way it sounds, he could fit that mold.
I got a question here. And this may not even work. I mean, I don't know. If you look at this, he had 9 receptions, 83 yards, 9.2, a longer 22. Deanna Brown had 12 receptions for the year, right? Mm-hmm. Like, could him and Deanna Brown be fighting for that last receiver position? And I know you said Deanna's 4, right? But you could easily substitute those 12 catches for Cam Sims. Because Cam's can
football guard.
Go for it. I've been waiting to talk to you.
Ron Rivera, do not cut draft picks.
Even 7th rounders?
Even 7th rounders. Well, as long as they show progress from year 1 to 2, they will make the roster.
Appreciate you, football god.
Football god checking in. He just answered that question for us.
and said when you talk about stats or measurables, I mean, he's a whole 3-4 inches over Julian Edelman, like you said. Not saying he's him, but it's just a lot more potential and stuff that you've even just seen that could lend to him being way more useful than what we're, what I'm saying, what we're giving him credit for. So
can be potent,
That's why I said it's just a big if over Washington this year. So
with them having a quality quarterback this year, some of these guys' stats.
I like that quote. I like that quote.
Quality quarterback. Right?
But they have. But realistically, Wentz is a check down guy. He has been throughout his career. He'll find a check down. He'll find that slot guy. He'll find the running back. He's a check down guy first. Then he'll
hold on. Wentz is not no check down guy, man. Wentz is not a check down guy. No. See, you get confused. You get confused. You get confused because in Philly, he threw to the tight end a lot. He threw to the tight end a lot because the tight ends was his best weapons with Erickson and Goddard. So he's not a check down guy. He's I'm gonna go to my best guy.
There you go. He's a football god. Want to ask you a question. Is Wentz a deep guy or a check down guy, football god? Football guys, he's gone. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to get to our next wide receiver at the 4-year mark. Number 17 in your programs, number 1 in your heart. He's 6 foot 210, 26 years old, 4th year out of the Ohio State University. I said it. The Ohio State University. He just got a bag. But he's not in the top 100 players. I can't explain it. He's got highlights on SportsCenter. He's arguably the 3rd best wide receiver in his class, even though he was a 3rd round pick. We're talking about Terry McLaurin here, Stoner. Go.
I mean, there's not a whole lot that you can really say that it hasn't already been said. He's the face of the franchise. He's everything that you would want from a football player. I'd want him to marry my daughter, right? Because he's a classy human being. There's everything about him that you absolutely love. Maybe there's some disrespect around the league. I don't get too caught up in that because all I care about is what he does for my team on a weekly basis. He stays healthy. He works hard. He's contested catches guy. He's got speed. He can run all the routes. He's tough. He'll go over the middle and catch a tough 3rd down pass. Yeah, catch some hospital balls. He does everything. He's the complete package that every team needs, and especially this team needs. So I'm glad they got him locked up. And there are not enough superlatives in the world to give to Terry McLaurin. Everybody should have one on their team.
Not the Cowboys.
Except for the Cowboys. They never have one like that, that's for sure. Have never. Maybe we got to go back to Staubach, maybe.
Well, I can honestly say I met CD Lamb, and I'm telling him do not sign an extension. Come up to Washington as soon as possible and team up with Terry McLaurin. I've said this to his face.
He's getting the bag. You can forget about it.
Now that Dak is getting older, I think he's starting to listen to me. I've told him, listen, Dak is on his about last leg. So come on up to Washington. All right, go ahead, Ant.
He's getting the bag. You can hang it up. Yeah. This is my question.
He is.
So let's compare him to Santana Moss. What's the difference?
I think Moss is faster. I think Moss got that get behind you speed when I want to. And Terry has that I'm going to get behind you because you don't think I'm as fast as I am.
Okay. Yeah, I listen. He's good at everything, and he's just a solid player. Like, he's the guy I was hoping that he got the money. He deserved the money. I know we can get into what the players actually deserve versus what the franchise is going to pay, but I've never not heard somebody not say what Stoner said in a nutshell. So, solid player. He's going to be the number one guy. Hopefully he has the stuff around him to make that receiving core be what it could possibly be. But there's nothing much you can say. He's a solid player. Solid player.
Get the hell out of here, man. He's better than any receiver y'all got right now.
You're smoking drugs.
I ain't smoking no drugs. Who y'all got, man?
I won't agree with you there.
No, I agree with that, bro. CeeDee Lamb got a lot of talent, but he's not a complete package. Terry's the complete package right now, bro. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. And Stoner, you my guy. Don't ever in your life disrespect the playmaker like that, bro. Come on, bro. I don't like them. I don't like that star neither. But I'll never disrespect the player that the playmaker was, man. Shout out to you.
No, I wasn't saying the player. I was saying the whole package.
Yeah, he's the whole package, bro.
He's the whole package.
He's the whole package. Yeah.
With all his
only thing that matters is what happens on the field. On the field, that dude Michael Irvin was a monster. You know what I mean? So don't package as a I don't care how good a Samaritan Terry McClure is. All I care about is what's happening on that field. And on that field, don't ever disrespect Michael Irvin like that, bro. Right. You know what I mean? And I don't like that star neither. But come on, bro. Irvin was that dude, bro. Come on, man, the playmaker.
Oh, we lost.
Paulie. No, I'm here. You talked about Michael Irvin. Can you talk about Terry McClory?
Everything Stoner said.
Everything Stoner said.
Hey, I need to clip these reels up right here. Highlight package.
Nah, man, listen. Only thing I need. See, Terry is like an enigma though, for real, and it's only because the quarterback play has been so shoddy in his time, been so inconsistent. We don't know. We can look at his talent and say his ceiling is this, but we don't really know. We don't really know if his ceiling is he already at his ceiling.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think that's what we'll find out. You know what I mean about Terry this year is what is his actual ceiling. But I think he's gonna have a good year this year, man. And it needs to start out early in the season. You know what I mean? I don't mean force the ball to him 100 times because you feel like you got a quarterback with a cannon back there or whatever. But I think we're really going to see the best and the true Terry McLaurin this year.
Facts.
I actually think his numbers are going to be very similar to this past year and maybe even a little bit less. But his numbers are going to be
more impactful in a more impactful way.
That's
I got you. He's not
going to be having to make those ridiculous catches along the sideline or jump balls in the end zone or, like we talk about those medicine balls across the middle
versus Tampa.
Hey, but look, y'all talking bad about that. But there's nothing wrong with that. If he's one-on-one, give him a chance. Throw it up there because he's showing you he'll go up there and get it. And that's the same thing. That's the same thing we was talking about Jahan Dotson. You know what I mean? So that's a skill set that's an advantage to you. So I don't have no problem putting him out there one-on-one with somebody. Now I don't want to throw it up to him 1-on-3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Say it. What you got?
Yeah, man. McClure got his bag. He got a legitimate quarterback. No one should be outstanding this year. If he have a drop off this year, then the excuse is on him. Because
I think it's gonna be on the quarterback.
They got a guy who can throw on the ball. They got a guy who's already in there, getting the plays together, the offensive tempo together. So they should be ready to go. They should be ready to rock and roll at the beginning of the season. I think Mcclure should have a better year this year. And one of the things he don't have to worry about is them making sure they sign him properly like they were supposed to. So that's one headache off in his head. He should be free to get out there and run those routes. Precision, catch. I'm out of there. So that's what I expect to see out of him this year.
All right. I think I skipped a wide receiver.
Curtis Samuels.
No.
Hartman.
No.
You got a few of them there.
Yeah, I think
you got the Cam Sims and
you skipped a few of them. You were so anxious to get the Mcclure. Yeah,
I went through. I went through by.
No, he right. Tell him again, Sid.
I went through by.
Tell him again, Sid.
But I forgot Kelvin Hartman.
He wanted to show that jersey off so bad.
Kelvin Hartman, number 13 in your programs. He's 6'2", 215, 25 years old. Second year out of North Carolina State. Kelvin Hartman. What can we say, man? Everybody has so many hopes for Kelvin Hartman. We want to see this guy succeed. We want to see him take this thing on, man. He shows us flashes. He shows us enough to keep us intrigued. Mm-hmm. But then when it's time to perform and do those things, Kelvin gets hurt. Kelvin gets hurt, man. So Stoner.
No, what you saying, man? He got hurt in the off season. When he got to play in his rookie year, he showed the potential he had as a player, and I thought he was a pretty good player. I'm not saying he was Pro Bowl level, but he was solid for what he was doing. So, and then he got hurt. Then you had a coaching change, a new regime come in, so he wasn't afforded that same luxury of where they was going to wait on him. Obviously, they must have seen something that they liked in him because they brought him back. You know what I mean? So, but he's fighting the uphill battle. Special teams, not special teams player, but practice squad player. He's going to be that player like I talked about your boy brother. We talked about your boy brother that's 29. Sonny Michel brother. Now he has a better opportunity to be on the practice squad in case someone gets hurt or somebody comes down with an ailment on game day. They can call him up and he'll get a spot because he could play all three receivers. I mean, he could play all the receiver spots. So
he is that Army knife.
Yeah, he's the Army knife. So practice squad. He's a practice squad guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. He's probably a bubble guy for that last.
He won't make
spot.
the 53.
Yeah,
he won't make the 53. But he definitely, if he wants, because like I said, these players have their choices and these choices to accept the practice squad position or not. Sure. He might want to go to another team where like Atlanta, where a receiver position is thin. You know what I mean? So
or maybe Dallas.
Or maybe Dallas. Yeah, no receivers down there.
Yeah. Limited roster.
So, man, y'all love us so much.
Hey, let's get on to let's move. That was Kelvin Hartman. Let's move on to Paulie. Watch football guard come back. Cam Sims, number 89. He's 6'5", 220, 26 years old. 5th year out of Alabama. He played with Tua and all those terrible things. And
Hey,
Sid got something to say about this guy right here.
Hey, boy, you skipping. I know you doing it again, brother. You're doing it again. Gandy Golden.
He's moving to tight end. He's listed with the wide receiver.
They got him listed as wide receiver.
Yeah, he's going to tight end.
Yeah, he's been moved to tight end.
They got him listed as wide receiver, bro.
They do have him listed.
This is on y'all website.
Yeah, they got him listed. Listed, but he's moving to tight end.
We've already proven we're not real good at keeping our websites up to date.
I mean, we talked about that earlier. We got mistakes everywhere.
Yeah.
I got the man written all down and everything. Make sure he about to do his thing. Wait a minute, let's get somebody else. Okay.
Cam Sims, Alabama. Tell us about when he played against Georgia.
He was limited in role because he wasn't one of the top flight wide receivers that Alabama had at the time. But Cam Sims did make plays. He made plays while he was there when he had the opportunity to make plays. Matter of fact, he should have at least one ring if I remember correctly. This is his 5th year. Yeah, he should have at least 1 ring. As a matter of fact, the 1 ring was against us, but he didn't catch the ball. That would be Smith, who caught that ball as a rookie over in Philadelphia for a touchdown to beat Georgia in Atlanta. But we're not getting into that. But anyway, he got some burn, in college. I mean, he did. He made some big catches. NFL wise, he had some up and down.
Doing it. He's making the catches. He's starting to show.
It's about time. He ran on the bubble of another contract, isn't it?
Yeah.
Man, you don't know what the hell you talking about.
He on the bubble for another contract, but I think he is. I remember correctly.
He's giving us Cam Sims.
But he should. I'm just messing with you. He should be fine, man. He gonna show up, man. And as long as he can do what he's supposed to do and match up with the rest of these guys, he gonna be great. Continue to catch the ball. Continue to go man to man out here and do what you're supposed to do, and you'll be straight.
He's our
I know
biggest.
I know him from Alabama though.
What you got, Stoner?
I'm a downplay.
I've never seen a guy go from the practice squad to the 53 so many times as Cam Sims has. I think he's done it 6 or 7 times that they've moved him up and down. But that also means that they trust him, that they can bring him in on a given, on a moment's notice to come in and make plays on game day. I like Cam Sims. I think he's he's a good receiver. He deserves like that 5th spot to come in and spell guys every once in a while. He's a big guy. He can make those contested catches. I'm a big Cam Sims guy, and I think he'll be the 5th receiver on this team.
Number 5.
And what helps keep him on the team is that he is a special teams guy. Now, he's not the return guy. No, but he plays on all the teams.
He
does the kickoff, the kick return. He does the punts, the punt returns. Those guys are super valuable. Yep. Ask the Doc Walkers and guys of that.
Brian Mitchells.
Yeah, those guys are super valuable when they can do more than one thing, when they can do special teams and fill a receiver position as well. That you don't, like a Troy Apke, all he does is special teams. Those guys, those guys are always on the bubble because they're not necessarily good at playing the other position. But Cam Sims is a good receiver and plays special teams. Very valuable for Rivera, who likes those guys who can do multiple things.
Hey, so Stoner, Paulie, I'm asking y'all to this.
Hold on. Okay, before I go ahead.
But Cam Sims, when we talk about all these other people need to get into these return lines and things like that, let's just say Cam Sims, we just saying Cam Sims is safe. He's comfortable in that 5th wide receiver spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes.
No. Hold on, no.
I think.
Well, you about to move on or something?
No. We're not moving on yet. I'm coming.
Oh, okay. Good.
I wanted to get your opinion. Cam Sims safe at the number 5 spot. Paulie.
He's safe on the roster. He's the number 3 receiver to me.
Okay. I'm coming.
He's the third best receiver. He's the third. Is Terry McClure, it's Curtis Samuels, and then it's Cam Sims. Everybody else he's talking about hasn't proved anything. Hasn't arrived. And you notice when they started giving Cam time last year,
start making plays.
He was making plays. He's productive. The year before that, when he was basically the number 2 receiver. You see this dude progress through the season, and he was a factor. He was a factor in Pittsburgh. He was a factor against Carolina. He was a factor against Tampa Bay. You know what I mean? So to me, he's the 3rd best receiver on this team right now. He's a professional receiver. He's productive. He's excuse me. Like Stoner said, he's a special team standout guy. Like, come on, he wasn't making that roster, but he was doing his thing on special teams to keep him in that organization, to keep him on the roster or in game. How many times during game day you seen right before the game that Cam Sims got pulled up to the active roster?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, like I said, to me, not the number 5 spot. He's actually the 3rd best receiver on his team.
And sometimes that's why it just pays to be able to do that. Like you have somebody like Paulie and somebody like Stoner that are making these big cases for this guy definitely being on the roster, where you guys have seen the consistency and what he's done, where when I look at him, I say He's the tallest receiver y'all got by far. He knows how to use his body. Not fast, but guys like that if they're gonna make the roster, they're gonna try hard. They're gonna, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna be able to be Swiss Army knife in some ways, being able to be special teamy. I think if all the receivers show up and play good, I'm not so sure that he's the third guy, but definitely somebody, like you said, that's in the rotation. So I ain't gonna lie, he wasn't that impressive to me, but I don't see all the stuff that he does on a normal basis, like you said, the special team stuff and just the intricacies of playing throughout the game. So,
no, I hear you. He's not gonna look impressive to somebody who don't follow the team because they wasn't giving him the opportunities he should have had. Now, like I said, if you was watching him 2 years ago, you'd have been like, oh yeah, next year he really gonna take off. You got him and Mcclure, and then but like his problem is, and it's not a problem, it's a problem with this damn organization is politics. He's getting caught up in politics where they giving people jobs instead of letting them earn their job.
Yeah.
Because if you look back who earned the job, that man earned the job. Like it should have been his job to lose as the number 2 wide receiver. We should have been opening up the season last year and Deanna Brown was de facto already your number 2 wide receiver. And he can't even get off the line of scrimmage. You know what I mean? When Cam has already learned this and learned how to do all of this. You know what I mean? So that's his problem, is that he got caught up in the politics of the coaching staff.
To your point, you keep saying Ron Rivera doesn't cut draft picks. That shouldn't always be the case. We should know that that's.
No, yeah, hold on, and he wasn't even a Ron Rivera free agent pickup. He was a Jay Gruden free agent pickup.
Yeah, you shouldn't. Something like that shouldn't be that distinguishable, because then that goes to show that he's already going to. He could play a bigger role, but gets pushed down the line because there are guys who got drafted, and he's going to stand by those guys. So
right.
Yeah.
Listen, you want to win, or you want to try to look good? I'm gonna win, but I'll be the ugliest dude out here, but I'm winning. You know what I mean? I only kid. You know what I mean? So and we talked about this the last time we talked about position players with the whole Bobby McCain situation. I'm tired of this. You signing the player or you drafting the player and you giving them a position. All they already penciled in as a starter. Like, nah, man, you got to go out here and earn this stuff, man. Earn it. And that goes a long way with the team too.
Facts.
Come on, man. We've been through this. We've been through this before.
Accountability.
RG3, Kirk Cousins, 2013, 2014. We've been through this before.
Mm-hmm.
Much as I love RG3, 2015, he wasn't the best quarterback on the team, but they were trying to give him a job.
All right, here we go. Number 10, Curtis Samuels. He's 5'11", 195 pounds. He's 25 years old, 6th year. He's in his 6th year out of Ohio State. He got a bag last year to come up here from Carolina. The team, they had him. They knew what worked for him, what didn't work for him. And, yeah, he didn't see the field last year. This is a big bounce-back year for Curtis Samuels to actually try to play in every game this year, keep this guy healthy. But the one thing that he does bring is a dynamic style. When you bring him in, you could actually
versatility.
Versatility. You could put him and McKissick on the field at the same time and switch them to and find a mismatch that you really, really like. Right? You could put Curtis in the backfield, put McKissick at wide receiver, and now who's that linebacker going to go cover? And we know what your defense is now. How is this team going to use him? Stoner, on you.
God, I sure hope he's going to be healthy this year. A big warning sign to me in OTAs was out of the 6 OTAs, he didn't practice in 3 of them, if I remember correctly, just because they wanted to be careful with him.
Yep.
I mean, you got guys who have had worse injuries than what did he have? A hernia?
Yep.
Is that what it was?
Yep.
For the entire season that basically hampered him for the whole season. And now they're still being safe with him with a hernia. I mean, that's a huge red flag. Now, I do have a source, and I'm kind of serious about this, that I have a source that has said that he got his bag and he just doesn't love football. And that's what's really behind all of this is that he doesn't want to put in what it takes to become great because he got his contract. So I think there's a little bit more than just the injury issue with him. So that's alarming to me. And
hold on. Go back, say it again. Who'd you talk to? Go back, say it again. I missed that. What'd you say?
You're not giving the source up.
No, I'm not going to give my source up.
So you say you talked to somebody. You ain't got to get a source up. I'm saying that's what you said. You talked with somebody.
Yes.
No, man. I don't care what somebody say. But I'm gonna say this much about it. A lot of that was on the coaching staff also because the man should have surgery from the jump. They try to patch him up. Again, politics. You want to look good,
that he didn't
or you want to win? Hey, listen. You want to look good, or you want to win? The man, even if he didn't want the surgery, he wasn't 100%. You should have been putting him on the field. He can't dictate going on the field. You know what I mean? They should have been putting him on the field because every time he went on the field, he got hurt. He re-injured himself. It wasn't never a different injury. He was re-injuring himself. And this was going on since last mini camp with this guy.
Right.
But
Now to say what you're saying. Now let's go past the injuries. He stay healthy. He's the type of player that he's going to take a position from somebody, especially in that running back position, where Patterson's going to have to watch out. You know what I mean? Like because
Patterson's not long for this roster.
Yeah, because he can play running back. He's interchangeable. You know what I mean? So
if healthy, he's a dynamic weapon.
He just have to earn that contract. That's all. That's all, man. And look, I hear what you're saying about your source and all that. You know what I mean? But you can't judge a player's heart. You can't just say, well, he got his money and now he packed his bags and went home. Because if that's the case, he wouldn't have been trying to play if he was hurt, as you was trying to say. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Hopefully he'll stay healthy this year.
Hopefully.
But I didn't have no problems with him actually sitting out, in them OTAs because at this point you want to make sure he's 100% healthy when that training camp starts. That training camp is when you start revving him up.
When the season starts. But I think he better read.
No, damn when the season starts, when training camp starts.
Yeah,
because look, because training camps is where you're gonna get your sores and your little bumps and bruises and stuff. Yeah, so by the time the season starts, you want to be callous to all that stuff and be ready to go.
I feel you, but they better start reading that fine print of these NFL contracts. They are not guaranteed.
That's the
thing.
Hey,
but the guaranteed part of it is real good, man.
Yeah, it is.
The funny thing is, Paulie's the only person I know that's like Stephen A. Smith says he has a source, and he's like, "Yeah, forget your source." It's like, no, that's good. Like that's on good authority. I would like to believe Stoner. It's unfortunate. I'll say this because when you look at him, he of all these receivers, even a little bit more than Mcclure at times, stuck out on film the most. Mm-hmm. He's got a Deebo Samuel type of run after the catch, like just plays gigantic, man, to be 5'11", 190 or whatever he is. And and players like that, sometimes I don't even think it's that they don't want to. I think you can lose the heart, man, because you get tired of having to, play through injury and things of that nature. I disagree with Paulie in that regard because it's like sometimes these guys know that their best bet is to stay on the field because the money's not guaranteed. It's those type of things that you're having to deal with, from the NFL. It's what have you done for me lately? He gets a hernia surgery early and sits out. His spot's gone. So even though you can stick behind draft picks and things of that nature, you got to be on the field to remain relevant. Period. Look at Carson Wentz. He spent the rest of his life chasing Nick Foles' ghost for that exact reason. So I can't say I can't blame him for not getting a hernia surgery, but it is a red flag that you went through all of this and they're still handling you with kid gloves. Mm-hmm. So I would love to see this guy healthy though, even though it might not spell well for my team. I would love to see this guy healthy to see what he could do when you actually get him out there with a solid quarterback. He didn't have that. You can't say he had that in Carolina either.
Not only but a solid quarterback, but
he did
a solid wide receiver.
A solid quarterback in Carolina.
Who?
Cam.
Yeah, he did. He
Cam
played
for
with Cam Newton.
Cam for his first couple of years.
Okay.
No. Cam Newton prior to the hernia surgery.
No, it wasn't Cam Newton.
Yeah, it wasn't prior.
Whoa.
Yes, it was.
Whoa. Hold up. His best season wasn't with Cam. It was with Teddy Bridgewater.
He said he had a solid quarterback play for his rookie season. He had good Cam. He had good Cam his rookie year.
No, but what I'm saying is his best season, it wasn't even about the quarterback. It was about the scheme and how they was using him. And that was with when Teddy Bridgewater was there. Yo, they had 2 receivers go over 1,000 yards that year. And he wasn't one of them. He was the third guy because he was their Swiss Army knife. You know what I mean? He was a slot guy. He was a running back guy. You remember that game against us? He busted on like a 60-yard run down the sideline. We couldn't stop that dude. Yeah, so it wasn't even about the quarterback play. It was about how they was using him. And that's exactly how we need to use him. You know what I mean? We need to have a 1-2 punch with him and J.D. McKissick in those roles.
Curtis Samuels has never been a 1,000-yard wide receiver.
Right.
Yeah, I said that.
If you use him as a Swiss Army knife, you don't. Yeah. Only the elite of the elite are gonna be able to do that.
Carolina
if he has
smartened
750 and 750, 7 touchdowns or something like that, that's a great season for him.
Yeah, Carolina smartened up, and they was like, you know what? Let's use his abilities and not just stick him out there on that Allen out there. You know what I mean? Because like I said, they had 2,000-yard receivers that year. He wasn't one of them. He was the third guy.
He was the third guy, and he finished that year with 800. And his best year was 851 yards. He had 3 touchdowns receiving, and that same year he had 200 yards rushing.
Mm-hmm. How many touchdowns?
He had 2 touchdowns. He had 2 touchdowns rushing.
2 touchdowns rushing.
5 touchdown season.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
He hasn't come close at all to double-digit receiving touchdowns. Look, he has 6, and that's his highest there.
I said Jared Patterson. He was the reason why they dumbasses was dragging their foot on J.D. McKissick when he went to Buffalo. Because they figure, okay, he signed with Buffalo. We could throw Curtis Samuels into that role. You know what I mean? Go ahead. What you about to say?
No, I was saying that's a thought. I was saying,
no, I'm telling you, because that's basically the role he played in Carolina in his most productive season. So that's why they was dragging their foot on the whole J.D. McKissick thing the whole time. Until J.D.'s age is like, look, my man don't want to go nowhere. I mean, what's going on? Just offer him the same deal, which wasn't a bad deal. And he'll come back. So, but that's why they was dragging their feet on the J.D. McKissick thing, because they figured we got Curtis Samuels, and it's the role he basically did in Carolina and excelled at.
Facts. Say it.
Yeah, seeing that I got to watch Curtis Samuels twice a year.
You
once
did.
in Atlanta, once in Carolina. He made some big catches, man. There are a few highlights where he's going across the middle and he threw the ball in between three DBs, with 2 DBs and a safety, and he jumps up out between the 3 and snags the ball out. So the talent is there. Can he re-energize himself to get back to what he was before? Because like Ant said earlier, they use him similar to the old boy in San Francisco. Debo. He ran the ball, he caught the ball, he played a little bit in the slot. Sometimes they went the Wild Panther, and he called the he was at quarterback. So he did a little bit of everything.
Wildcat.
He called it a Wild Panther.
Wild Panther. That's what they call it in Carolina. The Wild Panther.
They
said.
That's
what they said. They said Wild Panther. But I mean, he did some of everything.
Nah, bro.
So it just him being able to get on the field and can he apply that to you guys what he did there? Can they bring that out of him again? But if what Stoner said is true, that he don't have the love for them. I mean, ain't nothing you can do about that. He may not make it back there.
I hope that he finds that love.
And Paulie, you can't say that that's totally off, only because we see this all the time. It's a lot of guys that we see by what they do, the not diving on balls, the not hustle plays.
Man, the man was hurt.
Guys,
hold on, the man was hurt.
No.
When he played,
I'm not
disrespecting. You saying we see it all the time, yeah, but I'm not talking about all the time. I'm talking about with this particular player. When he was on that field, the 1 and 2.5 games he played, he was making plays. What was the Atlanta game? Every time he touched the ball, it was a first down.
Wasn't hard to play against Atlanta though.
That's not what we were talking about. We weren't down there.
You talking about not having the love to play, blah blah blah. I understand that, but what I'm saying is what I see on the field. That's all I care about is what I see on the field. You know what I mean? You can have all the sources you want to, but the source don't know. I'm talking about what you see on the field. I don't know the source. Was the source in Carolina with him? And the source came up to the team from Carolina too and seen the difference in him? Or we just seeing an attitude or something he has? I don't know. So I'm not gonna just stamp my fist on what the source is saying and saying that's 100. You know what I mean? That's just me. I mean, you can believe who you want to believe, and he said this and she said that. But I'm going to take by what I see on the field.
What about this? What about can the captain in the room help them find that passion for the game so them two can go out and dominate this year and show everybody that Ohio State is wide receiver U? How about that one?
What?
How about that? How about the captain?
Ohio State and all. What are you talking about, bro? Stop trying to earn up some brownie points. You still sleeping on the couch tonight?
No, please. No.
Hey, can we not look over my dig that I just did for Atlanta?
We can't look over it.
No. Hold on. Let me say it again. It wasn't hard to make plays.
Jump right over.
We can't look over that.
Jump right over. Jump right over.
Hey, say
you can't look over that.
Jump right over.
Jump
right over like it wasn't there. Jump right over like it wasn't there.
Hey, I think he Heisman that joint too. He was like,
hey, we was like,
oh man.
Our last wide receiver. Hey, Stoner, I'm right on this. The last wide receiver is Alexander Erickson. Erickson, right? Last wide receiver. And thank you, Stoner, for sticking in here with us. He's number 86. He's 6 foot, 195 pounds, 29 years old, 7th year out of Wisconsin. So this guy is basically a special teamer. We signed this dude right here for his special team's ability. And I believe what Paulie is saying right now, but somebody's going to have to force them to make a decision between the old guy or the young guy for this dude to be cut.
Yeah.
Paulie, go.
Cut.
I don't think he is. I personally don't think he is.
Camp body. He ain't making it 53. 53 stops at 6. There's too much versatility at the wide receiver position with the top 6. You got guys that can do it. You got slot guys, you got outside guys, you got special team players, you got punt returners. You know what I mean? Like I said, these other receivers, they're gonna have to flash and really flash, almost dominate their opponents, in spurts. They ain't gotta be consistent because you're only probably gonna get maybe 3 possessions, maybe, in a preseason rotation to do that. So, but he's fighting for a practice squad position. So that's what I'm saying. He's cut. That's not a name we should be looking forward to hear during the season. Stoner, you say you don't want Dax Milne on the field. You don't want to hear that. I don't never want to hear Elijah Alexander on the field this year. That means all hell with the shit at the receiver position.
That's right.
I remember that game.
You can't necessarily say that it's definitely going to happen, but this is very similar to when they signed DeAndre Carter in the offseason last year as a return guy, and everybody was like, well, who really cares about DeAndre Carter? He's a journeyman type player, and who knows if he's actually going to make the team. And then he was a very surprising make of this team as the 7th receiver / punt and kick returner last year. So this could be a very similar deal with Erickson, that he'll be the last receiver / kick and punt returner.
And I'm a counter that.
Specialty. Like,
and I'm a counter that Stoner with if they let DeAndre Carter go because he didn't end the season as the seventh receiver. He was basically the third, the number one slot guy towards the end of the year, the number one slot dude, and at times the number two receiver. You know what I mean? Next to Terry. So if they was comfortable enough to let him go, you know what I mean? They're not going to bring another guy in there to say, let's find another DeAndre Carter. Yeah. Because they felt like, hey, we got enough guys right here at these 6 players where we could let him go. So I hear what you're saying. In theory, that sounds good, but they finally started layering at this receiver position. So this is not the position where you got a good chance to have a good preseason, special teams or not, and make this roster.
I'd really like to see Dax Milne really step up and take over those return duties so that you don't have to worry about a 7th receiver / returner, and that Dax Milne can be the 6th guy and be the returner, and you can use that roster position somewhere else on the O-line or D-line or whatever.
I think that's what's going to happen.
I hope
because I think that's what happened. I was impressed with Dax Milne last year. I mean, he really shocked me with his ability. And like I said, he act like he belonged there.
Sure.
That means like he wasn't wet in the bed. You know what I mean? He acted like he belonged on that roster. He belonged on the field. So I think that will take
over those return duties, though. That's the big question.
Yeah, because you're right. It's a different caliber of bullet in the regular season than it is in the preseason. You know what I mean? And I thought he handled himself well at that return spot in the preseason. But yeah, you're right. Can he do it when it really counts? So you 100 on that one. I give you that one.
And
special teams is pivotal, and you can never not have enough good guys to fill those type of roles. So that's why you could be 7 years, not be the most electrifying, but still have a solid spot on the team because we know we can count on you to do a fair catch in the right situation or, be a gunner, whatever that may be. So I definitely don't see him as, making a real viable spot for receiver. But then after all, he may actually lose his spot to my guy, the rookie, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, that I got my $50 bet on with Stoner. So we'll see.
Who's
I already
that?
forgot. Is that Izzert?
Who's your guy? Who's your guy?
I'm making a case for my guy Izzert here.
Who?
And
Jacquez Izzert.
Jacquez Izzert.
And he's got to be on the 53, right? Not a practice squad guy.
Who is Jacquez?
He's a wide receiver.
Jacquez, that's the guy from Howard and Sam Houston State.
And Sam Houston State.
The first dude we talk about.
Yeah.
Look, I don't even know who he was. Cut.
That's cool, Paulie. Hey, Paulie, you don't gotta know him.
Well, I do know, bro. I do gotta know. That's my squad. You know what I mean? Like I said, practice squad.
All right.
Practice squad counts.
Hey, Stoner.
Oh, hang on now.
I'll take some. Hold on, I'll take some action on that. What up? I got 50 on that. I'll take some action on that one.
On practice squad?
No. I want to say what Stoner got.
No. I got no. We got 20 on. No. We got 20 on just making the team. No practice squad. That's it.
Oh, hey, I got some action. I got 20 on that too, bro. What?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Here we go.
He might make the practice squad.
Shout out, Brett Rivers.
They got like 13 practice squad positions now or something with all these new COVID rules and all that.
We got a question here. He says, how many proven wide receivers?
No, he said 53 though. He said the 53.
Yeah, 53.
How many proven wide receivers are on our roster? I think we need another veteran proven wide receiver.
There's no room.
Gallons of games.
No room, man.
713 currency. Okay, so listen. Proven wide receivers on our roster. We got McClure, Samuel.
We got 6.
Sims.
That's proven.
That's proven.
Proven receivers. Okay, I hear you. But at some point, you got to develop players.
Yeah.
You got to have talent, and then you got to develop the talent. Who's that asking that question? Who's that asking that question?
Gallons of games.
Who?
Gallons of games.
How's the game? All right. Let me ask you this, sir. All right, you want a veteran receiver? Throw a name out there instead of saying you want a veteran receiver. What veteran receiver are you speaking of? because usually at this point, a veteran receiver, 9 times out of 10 of the quality that you're talking about, he's probably on a roster already. Now we could get a cut. Now we could get a cut after the preseason, a training camp cut. You know what I mean? And then the final 53-day move. But what veteran receiver do you speak of?
Yeah, Julio Jones still out there, right? Said
again. What veteran receiver do you speak of?
And still owed $15 million by the Falcons.
And still owed. He's having a Bobby Bonilla type day.
Hey, that's what you call having a good agent.
That's a great agent. Bobby Bonilla, I think he got about 7 more years on that $1 million.
Actually, I don't know. Ant realized that he was out here last week. Julio.
Trying out for the Cowboys?
I guess he was talking with him, but he was out here last week.
Nah, we don't want him.
We don't want him.
You don't want him. You might as well. You don't speak for Jerry, boy.
Hold on.
Y'all might as well. Y'all got the rest of the Falcons on defense. You might as well add one offensive player.
And those guys, Neil sucks. Listen, hold on. This is my thing. He went out of his way to say he didn't want to come to the Cowboys. And then he went over there to the Titans and he did the same old Julio be Julioing. He can't stay on the field. He the big bust or big boom. Nobody wants. We got enough mediocre receivers.
Bro. First of all, you don't speak for Jerry, so you can't say you don't. As a fan,
speak for Dan.
Hold on. Let me. No, I don't speak for Dan. If I speak for Dan, he wouldn't have a damn. He wouldn't be the owner. You know what I mean? But like I said, you don't speak for Jerry. You know what I mean? You speaking as a fan. But come on. He had to say he didn't want to play for the Cowboys because of the controversy of him still being on another team, and then he has a Cowboys shirt on. You know what I mean? That wasn't a good look. He had to say that. And two, he didn't have the autonomy, the authority to dictate what team they was going to trade him to. You know what I mean? So best believe if the Cowboys was going to give up them picks that the Titans gave for him or whatever it was, he would have been more than happy to be out there in Dallas.
They all do.
And the fact that he's in Dallas now shows you there was real interest for him wanting to go to Dallas.
But you can agree that those two
that was last week. That was last week.
Gallons of games just came back. He said, I'm not thinking of anybody particularly. He says, I just think we don't have enough proven wide receivers. 17 is Samuels was hurt. Dotson will be good and is a dice shot after that. You still left off Cam Sims right there.
And Diami.
And whoa.
Okay. I only asked you about a particular wide receiver because if you're going to bring in a veteran receiver with the people that you have already, he has to be a guy who, number one, is going to be healthy, and number two, is damn sure going to be productive. You know what I mean? Not just a guy.
He's going to take away reps, and he's going to take away,
from
the guys who need to get that time to.
Exactly. And then next year this time we'll be having the same conversation about Diami.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're
bring another receiver in. Yeah.
Yep.
I agree. You got to let him develop.
That gets us through all of our Stoner. You did get in on Erickson, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep,
okay.
I got it on Erickson.
Say it. Last
shot.
I
suppose. No. I mean, he's gonna be a practice squad player, man. That's what I mean. That's what I think as well. I think he's gonna be a practice squad.
Yo, we went extra long. We appreciate y'all, but we got through each and every wide receiver. On Thursday, we will have NBC Sports Washington's Mitch Tischler with us, and we will cover the offensive line. So we will continue to break down this roster leading up to training camp. We're not that far away. We're almost to the middle of July. Happy birthday out to my man Ant. Big shout outs to Paulie for the July 4th birthday again. And y'all know what we do. We call it the OG Classic. We get in.
He's going off mute. You see him working.
Hey, bro.
Not gonna let that slide.
You late on that one, bro. You can just let that one go. Shout out to Flash. Shout out to my man Flash. Happy birthday. You know what I mean? Shout out to baby Flash. Like I said, we got them Commanders Dan's uniforms on the way. You know what I mean?
He didn't even say jerseys. He said dance uniforms.
Dance
Shout out to
uniforms.
Stoner for saving the day for us. We appreciate you, Stoner, for coming through. Adam, man, we got you. We got you in our prayers. Hey, make sure y'all subscribe and like to the First String Podcast. Check out Stoner.
Burgundy and Gold Report.
Burgundy and Gold Report. And check out Stoner and Nate and Trev on Ref the District. Yep. They are killing it too. When is y'all next show, Stoner?
Yeah, we go live every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Check us out there, and we putting up content all the time. But live 7:30 Wednesdays.
And that's exactly why I don't go live on Wednesdays. Now you know. I'm not going up against him, Corey, none of them. Warpath. No, we're not doing it. All right, we call it an OG Classic because we get in and we get out. Paulie, hit him with it, man.
Hell to the W, baby.
And there you go.
Go Dogs.